The Doha treasure of Saraha. The animate and the inanimate, the mobile and the immobile, things and nothing, appearance and emptiness, everything without exception, throughout all time, never deviate from the nature of space. You can repeat space, space, but still the essence of space has no reality whatsoever. It transcends being an object that can be said to exist, to not exist, to neither exist nor not exist, or to be something other than that. Thus, there isn't the slightest difference between space, mind, and the truth. These are just separate, incidental terms. They are nothing but meaningless false words. All phenomenon are one's own mind. There is not even a particle of phenomena that is other than mind. The one who realizes the primordial non-existence of mind attains the sacred realization of the victors of the three times. It is perfectly named the casket of the Dharma. It is not a Dharma that is anything other than the nature that is primordially innate. The truth is not something that can be taught. It cannot be described, so no one can understand it. To say it has a possessor would be a mistake, for how could there be a possessor in primordial selflessness? If the mind exists, then all phenomena would exist. If the mind does not exist, who would realize the Dharma? That which appears as mind and phenomenon, if one seeks it, it will not be found, and there is no seeker anywhere. It is non-existent. Throughout the three times it is unborn and unceasing. It does not become anything else. It is the ultimate state of great bliss. Therefore, all appearances are the Dharmakaya. All beings are Buddha. All composite actions are the primordial Dharma Dhatu. All nominal phenomenon are like a rabbit's horn. Alas, although the cloudless sun's light's rays are all-pervading, darkness appears constantly to the blind. Although the innate is all-pervading, the ignorant are very far from it. Because beings have not realized the non-existence of the mind, they are analyzing mind binds the mind. Just as the insane are possessed by demons and powerlessly experience meaningless suffering, beings possessed by the great demon of conceptualization and belief in reality create nothing but meaningless suffering. There are some ignorant who bind themselves with intellectual classifications. They leave the master at home and seek him elsewhere. Some believe reflections to be real objects. Some ignore the root and cut the leaves. Whatever they do, they are not aware that they are deceived. Hey ho! Even though these infants don't know the truth, I understand that they are never apart from the truth. I know my beginning and my end. I have seen myself. I alone am left. I look at the aloneness, and I see nothing. As there is no seer or seen, it is indescribable. As it is indescribable, who can understand it? When the natural mind is purified, one will enter into Savaha's realization. A lion's milk is not for ordinary, bad bowl. Just as in the forest a lion's roar terrifies all the weak animals, while the lion's cubs joyously run towards it, teaching the primordially unborn great bliss, terrifies the ignorant and the mistaken, but raises goosebumps of joy on the worthy. Hey ho, with an undistracted mind, look at yourself. When you have realized your own truth, even the distracted mind arises as Mahamudra. Concepts are spontaneously liberated. There is the state of great bliss. The happiness and suffering of dreams have no reality when one is awake, and so all thoughts of hope, fear, are abandoned. Who will then have a thought of cessation and accomplishment? All the phenomena of samsara and nirvana have no real nature when the truth is seen, and so thoughts of hope and worry come to an end. And what effort of adoption and rejection could there be? All appearances and sounds are like illusions, mirages and reflections without characteristics of reality. The one who creates these illusions is the mind, is space, which has no edge or center, which no one can know. Know that just as the various rivers, such as the Ganges, have one taste in the salty waters of the ocean, so all analyzing minds and various mental events have one taste in the Dharmadhatu. Someone may examine the entirety of the realm of space, but as it has no edge or center, seeing ceases. In the same way, if one examines mind and phenomenon, there is not a particle of an essence to be found, and even the examining mind will not be seen. One sees that there is nothing whatsoever to see. Just as a crow flies away from a ship, circles in all directions and returns to it, the desiring mind, even though it pursues thoughts, returns to the natural primordial mind. The Vajra mind is not disturbed by conditions. It destroys the den of fear that is the result of the failure of hopes. The fully realized mind is like space. It is not meditated on, and therefore there is no activity in the mind. The natural intrinsic state of the ordinary mind is unpolluted by contrived mentation. The naturally pure mind does not need alteration. Do not hold it. Do not release it. Leave it as it is. If there is no meditation in the unrealized mind, there is no meditator or object of meditation for those with realization. Just as space cannot focus on space, emptiness cannot meditate on emptiness. The non-dual mind is like water and milk, the one taste of multiplicity, a continuous great bliss. In this way, always throughout the 3 times, there is nothing to be done in the mind. It is the natural state, free from extremes. We name this cultivation and meditation. Don't hold the breath. Don't bind the mind. Leave the uncontrived mind like a baby. If memories and thoughts arise, look at them themselves. Don't think the water and the waves are separate. do not meditate, because there is not even an atom of meditation. In the Mahamudra, the non-activity of the mind, the supreme meditation, which is never apart from the non-meditation, the innate non-duality, the taste of great bliss. Just like water poured into water has one taste, when one rests in the state in that way, the attached mind that clings to focusing ceases. Hey ho! What adoption or rejection would a yogin of natural non-duality have? I neither grasp nor discard any phenomenon. I never say, son, you must do this. Just as that jewel is unreal, the conduct of the yogin is unreal. Though he speaks with a composite variety of chattering, the yogin's mind does not depart from singleness. There is not even a one existing in that singleness. And so, with a variety of outer aspects having no fixed basis, act like a madman, unconfined and without a care, like a baby in whose conduct there is nothing to be done. Wondrous, the mind is like a lotus that grows in mud. There is no fault that can stain it. Though there is the bliss of eating, drinking, and sexual union, though the body and mind are severely pained, whatever different kinds of conduct are performed, nothing will bind or free or stain. In the careless state of realization's own conduct, when ignorant beings are wretched, the power of overwhelming compassion causes tears to fall. I is swapped for others, and there is application to the benefit. When objects are analyzed, there is freedom from triplism. They become unreal, like a dream or an illusion. So then there is a joy, no sadness, freedom from attachment, as in the conjurer who creates objects of illusion. There is no elimination or attainment whatsoever. Within the nature of space, which is primordially pure, no activity in the mind is the Mahamudra. So do not perform any rejection in order to gain any result. The hoping mind is primordially unborn. So what real elimination or attainment could there be? If there were to be real attainment by anyone, what use would be the teaching of the four mudras? Just as animals that are afflicted with delusion run towards a mirage of water, ignorant individuals who are afflicted by desire, however hard they try, become even further away. There is not the slightest difference within the complete nature that is primordially unborn. The examining mind is purified in space, which is merely given the name Vajradhara. In the mirage of a dry plain, just so the primordial purity, the purified examining mind, cannot be described as being either eternal or nothing. Though the power of prayer, all hopes are fulfilled, as with a wish-fulfilling jewel or a wish-fulfilling tree. There are no world, concepts, or relativity whatsoever within the sacred meaning.